Hey guys, today for reading in our Kate's book, we're going to read the story, The Hike. Now in Kate's book, it starts on page 38 and goes to page 45, but it's also in your Kitty Cat workbook on page 20.3, if it's easier for you to get it from there. The Hike. The next morning, we went on a hike. After a bit, we stopped for lunch. When Max finished his lunch, he asked, "Can Kate and I look for rocks?" Jack said, "Okay." "Kate," Max said to me, "bring your fork. We can use it to dig up rocks." I grabbed my fork and we went off to look for rocks. Max pointed at a bump on the side of a cliff and said, "Let's dig that rock out." The rock did not look all that large, but when we started digging, we soon saw that it was larger than it had seemed. After a bit, Max said, "Gee, it must be 2 feet long. We need to keep scratching in order to carve it out of the side of the cliff." We went on scratching with our forks. "Let's tug on it," Max said. "I bet we can get it out by ourselves." We grabbed and tugged it. It popped out, but so did a big cloud of sand and dust. Max and I fell down. Once the dust and sand had drifted off, I saw Max standing there with the thing in his hands. "It's not a rock," he yelled. "It's a bone." It was the biggest bone I had ever seen. It was 3 feet long. Jack and Nan came running. "Goodness," said Nan, "that is one large bone. Where did you get it?" Max pointed to the spot where we found it. Jack set the bone on the ground. Then he took a picture of the bone and said, "We need to get an expert to look at this bone and tell us what sort of bone it is." Now, for your second read, I want you to read out loud with me. And for your third read, I want you to read it by yourself out loud. Then I want you to get your Kitty Cat workbook and turn to page 14.3 for your questions. The first 3 are choose the best answer. But on the back, number 4 is the one that you have to write in a complete sentence. And it says, "Who needs to look at the bone to tell Max and Kate the sort of bone it is?" Now this is a little bit difficult to figure out your story starter, your sentence starter. You would say, "A blank needs to look at the bone to tell Max and Kate what sort of bone it is." And what word did we hear in the story? An expert. They need an expert. They need somebody that knows a lot about bones. All right, do your best. I know you'll do great.